Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I am Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. Before we launch in, I wanted to say that yesterday Arizona is indicting Giuliani and other Republicans for whatever, fraud, election fraud, whatever. And so I think we talked on the show about imprisoning your enemies, right? This is
Political enemies in this
political.
case.
This is another example of imprisoning your political enemies.
Overreach. Way.
And they accuse us of being Republicans of being dictators. You know. So, anyways, thought I'd throw that out. We might unpack that tomorrow. We might, but we're going to launch into this segment today. Biden's executive order 14019 directed, quote, executive departments and agencies. So that could be the EPA, an agency, or Department of Justice, to, quote, partner with state, local, tribal, and territorial election officials to protect and promote the exercise of the right to vote, eliminate discrimination and other barriers to voting, and expand access to voter registration and accurate election information, end quote. So what? Why are we talking about this? So 27 state lawmakers in Pennsylvania are asking for the Supreme Court to grant certiorari, which is a hearing, challenging Biden's executive order. The High Court receives 8,000 requests per year and only about 80 are accepted. That's 1%. So very small chance. Since this has ramifications for every state, the odds go up for judicial review. I thought that the Constitution's election clause, which reads that the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators or representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof.
Each state.
Each state. And it varies state to state, but they
Right.
determine the manner, the time, and the location, right?
Don't mess with the Constitution.
Okay, so a lower court held that the lawmakers lacked standing because they were not harmed by this order. That's what standing means. If you're not harmed, it gets kicked out because there's no controversy here. You have to be actually harmed. So, ostensibly, times, places, and manner for actual elections is what would need to be harmed. If state legislatures lack standing, then who has standing? According to the Constitution, right? If the legislatures can't dictate the manner of getting them to vote, so I guess a key question is, who exactly can be harmed by this order, the executive order? I'm racking my brains trying to think that. Is it the entire legislature, but not individual legislators? If the Department of Housing regional offices expand voter rights in the projects that they oversee by going into the projects and signing up voters, who gets harmed by this? I'm thinking this out loud. Who gets harmed by that? The country? I don't know. That'd be a stretch.
I don't know.
Do I get harmed? Here in California, they flood the projects for a federal election? I don't know. But notice how the order instructs agencies to partner with state, local, tribal, and territorial election officials. It says partner with. I think this is a ruse just to get them just to go out and do their thing. Or in blue states, there might be actual partnering. But in red states, it's just under the radar, get out there and go to the key demographics, right? What are the key demographics? The dead, right?
Illegals.
Illegals. Yep.
Yep.
The
And dead
whole
illegals.
Old homes.
Oh, yep.
Yep. Ballot harvesting. Those are key demographics. The 3 a.m. mail-in ballot, unverified signature. Key demographics, okay? I can see tribal and territorial because they're not states, right? So the federal could easily go into the tribe because they're sovereign, right? And territorial, like Puerto Rico, they're a territory.
Right.
Philippines, they're a territory. They can go in and help them, right? Partner does not equal usurp, right?
I was going to say, describe help, right? Are you going to sit down and talk to somebody that maybe can't read, and you're going to be able to influence their vote by telling them?
That's the when. When you do that to sign them up, you do that a week before the vote to actually fill it out.
Yeah,
that's That's where the gray area is.
And to me, that's borderline fraud, right? You could be
Yeah.
you could be
Yeah.
that's kind of scary stuff.
So Pennsylvania seems to think federal agencies are usurping election activities. How do federal agencies eliminate discrimination? This is directly from the order. Discrimination and other barriers to voting without impinging on each state's legislative efforts to do the same. Are they going to get in the way? Are they going to do it for them? How can federal agencies expand access to voter registration without impinging on each state's legislative efforts to do the same? So, for example, a person in state X is convicted of a felony and sentenced to prison, right? State, not federal penitentiary, a state prison. Federal government has no visibility of state incarcerations. Can the federal government expand access to inmates' voter registration? Is that what they're talking about? So is that now a new key voting block?
That again, this is a fine line here. What are you going to do? I mean, I believe that when you're incarcerated, you do not have the right to vote, right?
Right.
And
I don't think that's state by state. I think that's a federal thing.
you've lost you lose a lot of rights that people don't think about. I don't know. That's kind of scary stuff.
So, to
and
me,
again, who's gonna? I just have all these thoughts in my head about, sitting down with somebody across the table and they don't care. They're in jail. Well, if you don't care, then
here's
let's
a gift
mark
card for $50.
Yeah,
There you
let's
go.
mark box B. Well, what about box A? Well, he's kind of a butthead. So let's
take this gift card.
Yeah, here's
don't
another
worry
gift
about it.
card. We'll just go. Yeah, 2 gift cards. I don't know. I don't like that.
So accurate election information smells like Ministry of Truth propaganda, right? Accurate election information. It's like disinformation. That's Ministry of Truth. So check this out. So instead of actually forming a Ministry of Elections, right, or a Department of Elections with a secretary and everything, they're just taking agencies, people from different agencies, and saying, go out, divide and conquer, and get people signed up from the key voting blocks, right? So those people now are not doing their job that they're supposed to do. It's more government fraud, waste, and abuse and bloated government. They might hire more people. They'll probably hire more people so they can get them to go out to the high schools to get them to vote or sign them up to vote, and the prisons to enroll them. And who knows?
Yeah, retirement homes.
It's like a shadow Department of Elections, almost.
Yeah, and who's in charge of that? Who's ever in charge, right?
Yeah.
Who's ever.
Yeah. Well, the deep state is firmly entrenched, so it could be subversive. They could be doing that, subversively after a new regime comes in. Can you see all the problems that can crop up? Scott, you've challenged whether or not we need a Department of Education. Does the United States need a Department of Elections?
No.
I agree with you.
Those are left up to the state,
It's up
right?
to the
That's
state.
Constitution left up to the state. So, Secretary of State, I believe, of each state is
Has to certify.
has to certify, and that's the way it's been since the inception. So,
It's like that, and that's the way it is.
yeah. So let's just keep it that way, and but we got to figure out a way to make it legal, and
They're clever on their workarounds.
They're
very clever.
They are. I think that there should be, if there's 10 people watching a voting location, I think there should be 20 or 30. And
Yeah, but what if they put like the cardboard boxes up on the window so you can't see?
yeah, no, you got to be in there. You got to be in there. There's got to be some impartial people, And if you want to split it down the line, 15 Republicans, 15 Democrats, or whatever, and yeah, it's.
But now this segment is talking about everything leading up to the manner, the place, and the time, not the manner, place, and time, but leading up to it. How do we police that so that the dead stop voting?
Well, if you're asking me if I were king, I would say we do not have any early elections. Everybody has to get
You
there.
mean mail-in ballot?
Yep, no
Yeah.
mail-in balloting.
What about
Unless
armed
it's
forces
military.
over-
Yeah,
military,
military. There's some exceptions, but you know what? If you can't get your fanny to the
Peace
bowling
Corps,
box,
Peace Corps that's overseas,
yeah, okay. I mean, those people can do it, but
out of the
you
state
got to
that
be
they're
able.
registered.
You got to
to.
be able to prove that you're out of the area that you're in to vote. And if you can't get yourself to the ballot location,
Yeah, I like that.
too bad. You know, you just got to do it.
That's
It-
why
it's
you
an
get paid the big bucks.
It's important. This is an important thing. There's not a lot of countries that'll allow people to do this, and we are one of them that do. And up until just the last few years, I think we've been pretty good at it. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just when these last couple of elections that we've had, the numbers just don't add up. Like we talked about a month or so ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
The
The number of registered voters versus 90% voting rate.
that's
like-
just unheard of.
It's unheard of.
It's unheard of. So, but
Yeah.
we
All
got to
right.
figure it out.
Thanks for joining us today. Leave your comments. We definitely want to know what you feel about this.
Yep.
Nothing irrational like, oh, it should be like this. Give us a nexus of why you think it should be a certain way. Reason it out. Ben, we're looking for your comments too. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Thank you.